Mic test, mic test. Mic test, mic test. Can you hear me? Mic test, mic test. Mic test, mic test. Mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test. Mic test. Okay, so your test tomorrow is number 1. You're going to be about the essay. The essay is going to be about the priorities, different priorities, different needs and interests, and different uh, unequal sharing of costs. Okay, so these are the 3 main points that you have to write tomorrow. Please ensure that you write these 3 main points. Now, our essay is same as the history. Okay, same as history, so we follow the Krill format. Krill, Now, the claim is just simply answering the question. Okay, claim is just answering the question. So, they will ask you, why do you need these 3 things? Why is it a problem when government make decision? Okay, in terms of these 3 things. So, when you want to claim, you must say that, making decisions or deciding what is good for society is a challenge. Okay, so you tell the marker that you are answering the question. It's a challenge. Okay, please tell the marker that you're answering the question. I'll just do point form. Okay, so what's the reason The reason is one of these three things. So you just choose one to write first. Okay, so let's say the reason is because of differing. The reason why deciding what is good is a challenge is because there is differing priorities, okay, among the citizens. Okay, then you elaborate a bit about what is differing priorities. In other words, you give the definition. So it just means that in a diverse society, right, our society is diverse, and because it is diverse, right, people depending on their background will want to prioritize different things. Okay, it's as simple as that. Diverse society, because of their background, and hence they would like to prioritize different things. Okay, but they all agree on the basic needs. They agree on the basic necessities should be there. That means transportation and all these things are. All these basic necessities should be there. Okay, but they prioritize differently on the needs. So example, okay, example number one you will give is that parents of school going children, right, of course they want to prioritize education. That makes sense, right? They want to prioritize education. But however, maybe if you are elderly, you don't want to prioritize education, you want to prioritize healthcare, right? So you see that the government actually has to make a decision on what should they prioritize. Is it healthcare needs of the elderly, or should they prioritize on the education needs of the school going children? Okay, people have different needs and they perceive different things on what should be the priority. Can let me share example. Okay, one more E, which is explanation and link. So what? This is called a challenge. How do you define a challenge? Okay, so you think about what people would think, what people would feel, what people would, their thoughts, right, their actions about the decision makers, which is the government. Okay, so what type of things will they think about? Number one, they will think that the government is biased, right? If their needs are not met, their priorities are not met, they will think the government is biased against them. Number two, they will be unsupportive of the government in future efforts, right? Because the government is not meeting their needs, not meeting their priorities, so they will be unsupportive of this, right? And of course, what would they feel? Unhappiness. So this is how you explain, right? In order for a society to function well, you need your citizens to understand where the government is coming from. Okay, so this is a challenge because different people have different priorities depending on who you are. Are you a parent with school going children, or you're elderly looking for health care? And if the government does not meet your priorities that you need right now, you may think that the government is biased against you, or you may be unhappy, you will be unsupportive of the government in future challenges, in future decisions, and hence, and thus, this helps to explain why this is a challenge. Simple. Uh, so you actually need three E's. You need a CREE, elaboration, example, and explain, plus link to why it's a challenge. This portion of the essay is going to get you a lot of marks. If you cannot hit this part, you will fail immediately. So please hit this part. Okay, so now we do another one. So C again, right? It is difficult to make decisions. R, give me your main point. So what's your main point? Again, choose one of the three here. Just now we do priorities already. Now let's do unequal sharing of costs. Right? Because there is the existence of unequal sharing of costs. Okay? What does this mean? So when you do your E, right? When you do the E, I need to explain what exactly does this mean. Unequal sharing of costs. That means that when decisions are made, right, there are definitely trade-offs. Correct? Definitely there will be trade-offs. Some groups will bear a bigger cost. Right? Not everybody will share the cost equally. Some will bear a bigger cost than others. Okay? And therefore this will lead to what you call people having the not in my backyard syndrome. That means they want the benefits of certain things, but they don't want to suffer the consequence, the direct consequence. Okay? Because some groups will suffer more than others when certain decisions are made. So this in a nutshell is what we're talking about. Trade-offs means that when you want something, you have to give up something. Okay? When you want something, you have to give up something. But some people have to give up more than others when you're making certain decisions. Some people don't even need to give up anything at all. So what's the example that is given in your textbook? Right? Building expressway. Expressways are very beneficial, right? Because you can have faster traffic. The cars can move faster transportation. Right? But who is the one that's going to bear the cost of these faster things? Right? They are the people who are staying near the area where the expressways are built. Right? So it's the people near expressways. They are the ones who are going to suffer more. Why? This is your example. So why? Because of noise, because of dust, because of increased population in the area. Not increased population, increased density. Right? So it's going to be difficult for them. So they are going to bear more cost than others when you build this expressway. Alternatively, you can also talk about the elder care facilities. Right? Yes, it benefits the elderly, but it's going to make things very inconvenient for other residents staying near the area. Right? Example, if the elderly gather in the elderly corner, they will talk in the morning, they will make noise. Okay? Or if you have a lot of elderlies, then things will be different. Perhaps there will be some inconveniences that you have to live with. Now, who are the ones who will suffer these inconveniences? Is the people who are directly affected. Hence, that's why you have unequal sharing of the costs when you build certain things. So your explanation is when you build certain things, other people may not agree. Okay? Hence, they may go against the government. So again, it's a challenge, right? Because they are unhappy. It will lead to a lot of unhappiness over this unequal sharing of costs, and hence thus it is difficult or is a challenge. Okay, again, this is the part that's going to give you a lot of marks. Is how you explain and link unequal sharing of cost to why it is a challenge. So you must think of what people would think, what people will do, what people will feel, right? To explain why it's difficult or why it is a challenge. What is the outcome of those who are at the losing end of these decisions? Okay, so that is in a nutshell the essay. Anything? If nothing, I just move on to the SBQ. So you just write two of these three things. But most importantly, I want to see your main point, which is these three things. Okay. Claim, answer the question. R, main point. E, elaborate on your main point, give the definition. E, give some examples, explain, and then link on what people think, feel, and thoughts, actions to help you explain why it is a challenge or why it is difficult. Okay, so I want to see 2 paragraphs. So 7 marks is 7 marks 2 paragraphs. Yes, this is very simple. I'm sure you all can do it. Okay, so I'm going to move to the SBQ now. Okay, can I move to the SBQ now? Second one. Okay, all this is actually inside your essay already. It's just that I'm going through again. Just recapping. You can see the full version in your essay notes. Yes, the full version is over there. Okay. Okay, shall I move on to the SBQ now very quickly? Then after that we can go and sleep already. Okay, let's move on. 7 people. I lost a few people who were here just now. Hang on. I got to answer something. Yeah, so you better pass tomorrow. Okay? Don't waste my time. Please. Please, Please, you must pass tomorrow. Okay? Who is play with me? Let's go to the SBQ. So, tomorrow is just simply inference and inference with purpose. Inference with purpose is your why question. Okay, only 2 skills only. Very simple. I'm sure most of you can do it. So inference, what can they ask you? They can ask you what can you infer. Okay. So this one you just answer I can infer. I can infer that essay is 7 marks. Essay is 7 marks. I can infer that blah 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 blah. Second type of question they can ask you is, do you think the author is supportive? So for this type of question, you just say, I think the author is supportive or not supportive of the issue. Okay, so when you look for the evidence, please look for evidence related to the issue. Okay, whatever that they ask you to find out about. That's the key thing for doing inference. So for inference, if they ask you what can you infer about, they'll ask you what can you infer about, and here is the subject or the agent. So you must say the agent. I can infer that the agent, right, is what thing. Can, so make sure you are clear in what you are talking about. Okay, understand? I think it's quite simple. So for your inference, you need to be mindful of two things. Number one, inference must be it's a conclusion. It is a conclusion. It is not a copying. It's not a description. It's not a paraphrase. It's a conclusion based on evidence. Okay, so you have to use your own words, and you must use the word tells. Tells. Number two, evidence must be clear. Be as clear as possible and quote evidence. Number three, your explanation is just explaining the evidence. Okay, again, own words and make it different from your inference. Okay, don't say the same thing again. Follow these things and you're fine. You'll be fine. Okay? Okay, now when you do the question, the do you think question, okay, author supportive or not? Okay, when you see whether the author is supportive or not, okay, you have to bear in mind who the author is in order to find out whether he is supportive or not. So the easier level is just to use the content. Okay, so I think, so again you must claim. What's your claim? Let's say you say author is supportive. That's your claim. Okay, next you must give me a reason. So why is he supportive? Because, right, he tells you what, which is your inference here. Okay, then the evidence is blah 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 blah, meaning that whatever thing, and hence this tells me that he is supportive of the main subject. Okay, so that is for the basic thing. But in order to give a better answer, okay, you say the author is supportive because it tells me that inference what evidence is blah, 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 and you add on to this, you add on yeah, unsupportive is the same. But to make your answer sound nicer, you add on to this by telling me the background of the author. Okay, so you find out who the author is, find out who is the author, write it down, and write what you expect him to say based on him being the author. Okay, and what you expect him to say. So if it's the government, then of course you'll be supportive of whatever government policy you have because you're the government spokesperson. Okay, if you're opposition, of course you will not be supportive of whatever things because you are an opposition. You're trying to put down, you're trying to undermine the government's decisions. Okay, so look out for who the author is. Once you finish the basic inference, then you write, I'll expect this author to be supportive as he is. He is who, as he is what, and hence I expect him to write these things based on his background of who he is. So you must know what type of background, what type of people, will say what things because of their background. Remember this for the supportive question. Finally, the last question is the purpose, and that is the most challenging one. So again, number one, you must answer as a reason and write because. If you don't write because, you will get 0 marks immediately. Okay, so you must say because the author wrote this thing. So put the context first. Okay, this guy said this as he is. Okay, context first. He is who? Who is he? Who is he? When did he say this? What is happening? Okay, so this is your context. Who is he? When he say and what is happening? Okay, the guy says this because this is happening at this time and he is a certain person. Hence, because of this context, because of this, he wants to, because of this context, right? Then you write the strong action verb. Convince the audience, specific audience, that, okay, message is not outcome. Message is not what you want the audience to do. Message is what you want to tell the audience. You want to convince the audience of something, like buy Nike shoes. You want to convince them that Nike shoes can make you fly. Okay, outcome is so that you will buy the Nike shoes. So similarly, find out what is the message. Okay, find out what is the context, and because of this context, hence he has a message to convince the audience that of this message. Okay, then you write evidence. How do I know he wants to do this? Because the evidence says da da da, da. And thus outcome, he hopes the audience will, then you write the outcome finally. Okay, then you write the outcome after that. Okay, so let's do a example for this, a very simple example. Okay, so let's say it's about the class. The class has been very noisy. Okay, why did I make a speech? Why did I scold the class? Okay, so I scold the class. It says teacher scold the class as he is the SS teacher of uh, of 3D, and 3D has been very naughty. See? So this part here is the context. Okay, this part I'm writing the provenance plus my context. So because 3D has been very noisy and he is the SS teacher, he made this speech because he wants to right, reprimand 3D that talking is not beneficial to their studies. Okay, evidence is blah 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 blah. And then finally, because I hope that audience 3D will be more attentive and stop. Or you cannot just write S, you must write so as to. Can? So let's make it clear. This part here, okay, this part is your context based on the provenance, based on who he is, what is going on at the time. Okay. Then here, just repeating, is the gender, the message. Okay, and then finally here, this part here will be the outcome. Hopes that 3D will be more aware and stop talking. Yes. Okay. It's actually very simple. Okay, just a reminder again. When it asks you is the author supportive or not, okay, you do the basic inference. Yes, supportive, because the reason, inference in your own words, evidence, and hence supportive. Okay, again, the author is supportive because who is he? Who is he? Who is he? What is his background? And what do you expect him to say based on his background? Okay, that should be it. You should score A already based on all the things I said just now. Tomorrow you just relax. The A will come, definitely. Definitely the A will come. Okay, just don't. Remember, don't lift or paraphrase as inference, because inference is a conclusion. It is not a paraphrase. It is not lifting. It's not a description. And then write the word because for your purpose. That's it. That's the main things. And you will pass. You will definitely pass. Okay? History is looking good so far. So far, based on those that I have marked, it is looking quite good. You do not need to be too worried about the results for that. Can I will tell you on Thursday who will need to go for remedial. Okay, let's end with a song. What song shall we end with? Okay, let's end with your favorite song. BTS.
We're Rhett and Link, and we wanted to show you how we created our amazing new website. Now we know that having a great.
Can you hear? Can you hear? Can you hear? Can you hear? Okay, and with some BTS to make you feel good about yourself before you take the thing tomorrow. Okay, Ken, you are dismissed. You are dismissed. Show the music video. Let me try. Window. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, you're dismissed. Go and sleep now. Go and study hard. Sleep now. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. Please study hard. And bring your file. Those who don't have completed file, you are -1 mark. Okay.